A conversation about stories. There is power in your story, power that can positively impact another person in ways you may never know. At Inspired Woman, the stories people share help change lives every day. I'm Marci, and this is Inspired Woman Conversations.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marci. My guest, Sara Otte Coleman, is standing by. We will visit with her in just a moment. It is Monday, May 4th, 2020. Kind of a rainy day, but still lots of reasons to smile. And we're going to be talking about Travel and Tourism Week, and hadn't even realized that when I reached out to see if Sara was available for a live interview today. Before we get to that, just a couple of reminders. We do have the Mother's Day promotion going on, and it's real simple. May is for mothers. We're celebrating with photos every day. We've had a few submissions, and you can find those on the Facebook page. And you can find the entry on inspiredwomanonline.com, and there's a blog post where you can click to enter that. And I just want to say a thank you to the sponsors who are putting together a really nice gift package. Rachel Neva Photography, Dutch Mill Florist, and we've added Walkers and Daughters Jewelers. So you'll have a nice package. All of the entries will be, or submissions will be entered for a prize that will be drawn on June 1st. And also I want to say thank you to this guy, Marv Dorner, who is with Be Busy Consulting. He takes care of all my website needs. I am not a technical person. Marv is. And when I text him and I say, can you do this for me? And it's done by the time it's just done quickly. And I just really appreciate him. And so I wanted to just give him a quick shout out. Now, our Inspired Woman words of wisdom. Cherish yesterday, dream tomorrow, live like crazy today. And this is a photo from the North Dakota Travel and Tourism website. And I thought this was a perfect image to talk about to share these words of wisdom, but also as we segue into meeting our guest today, Sara Otte Coleman, who is the director of North Dakota's Tourism and Marketing Department. Hi, Sara. Oh, I gotta turn on your microphone. There we go.
Now we can say hi.
Yeah, hi. Thank you so much for taking time to do this today.
Yeah, happy to. It's an interesting time, but this is a great week for us to kind of look forward. So we're glad to have an opportunity to do that.
Absolutely. So I want to just get to know you a little bit first. If you can just help us get to know you. Are you a North Dakota girl? Where are you from? Background, education, family?
You bet. Yep, I am a North Dakota girl. I grew up here in Bismarck. We moved here when I was in about the second grade. So I married my high school sweetheart. We're both Century grads. All three of our kids graduated from Century as well. So we're proud of Patriot proud still. We farm and ranch, so this is a very, very busy time of year for us. I think we've got just about 550 calves on the ground, and a lot of the crop is in the ground, so we've gotten an early start with that. I've been in the travel and tourism industry for going on 34 years, I think. So it's just a really fun industry to work in. It isn't all fun. It isn't all fun and games like some people think. There's a lot to it as well. But I've been with the travel industry for that many years, and I've been with the state as director for going on 18 years.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
That is remarkable. How did you get into this industry? What was your interest? Were you a woman?
I think I've always loved to travel, and I didn't get to travel a whole lot growing up, and I always had just a kind of a thirst for that. But I think how I was inspired to get into this industry dates all the way back to when I was probably in grade school, and there was a multi-state marketing campaign done by what at then was called the Old West Trail States. So North Dakota, Montana, South Dakota, Wyoming had this consortium where they marketed kind of the Old West region and the history and culture of our state. And I remember watching those ads, and it was just, the scenery was so beautiful and everyone was having so much fun. And I didn't know it then, but I think that seed got planted, and I think that just inspired me to really figure out, number one, I thought the advertising was amazing. And number two, the whole experience that you're selling is amazing, because we all grow so much when we travel, that I think that might have been what did it.
That's a great story. And imagery and selling, that's what you do. And, you know, we've got a North Dakota native that you get to work with in doing that promotion with Josh Duhamel.
Yes. Yeah. Josh has been just a great ambassador for us. You know, he started out just doing it organically. You know, we didn't seek a spokesperson or a celebrity to kind of be our spokesperson or endorse us. He was doing it so naturally and just had such a passion and love for the state that it was just a natural. When we asked him if he'd be interested in working with us, he jumped in and has been just great to work with, and it's been fun to see things evolve. He recently was in state, actually kind of right about the time that this was all hitting, the COVID-19 pandemic was kind of hitting, and he was actually in the state. And so he was gracious enough to jump into a studio and revoice some ads that had been cut previous, and we kind of remixed those to really try to be relevant in the situation that we're in right now. So he's been great.
Okay, I'm going to show one right now if that's okay.
Sure.
It's one of my favorite ones, and we're going to show this now.
This is Josh Duhamel. North Dakota has taught me everything I really need to know. To never quit, to never give up. And that we'll get through this together, because that is who we are. Be inspired at NorthDakotaLegendary.com. North Dakota, be legendary.
Excellent.
Yeah, so we did that one. You know, we don't usually do in-state marketing. Normally our main focus is external, because our job is to bring new revenue into the state of North Dakota. And to do that, you bring in, you know, non-residents. So we do a little bit in-state, but not a whole lot. But this year has just really changed how we were looking at things. We know people are going to be less likely to travel far away. We're going to have to focus a little closer to home, and we really need to encourage people to support their local businesses right now when things are difficult, especially those in the travel and tourism industry and the hospitality industry, who were the most impacted. So this message has been running statewide, and it's been really fun to see the response, and our people are interested, and it is inspiring them. Our visits to our website are up about 68% by North Dakotans.
Wow.
So that's fun.
That's fantastic. So Travel and Tourism Week kicking off today, and I guess, can we start with what is the kind of the state of tourism and travel here in North Dakota, considering we're heading into probably the busiest time for people wanting to get out and play in North Dakota?
Yeah, exactly. Well, we know that the numbers have been pretty devastating in terms of lost revenue. The most recent number, I think, is close to 200. I can't remember it right off the top of my head, but I think it's close to $280 million that has been lost since the beginning of this in visitor spending. So we don't want to dwell on that. We know that people it just wasn't safe to travel right now. What we want to think about is recovery and how to position the state quickly for recovery. And the first way to do that, and the safest way to do that, is to really encourage people locally to travel around North Dakota and discover what there is to see and do here. The industry is made up of 2,900 businesses. Over 45,000 people work in the travel and tourism industry. So it's a huge, huge piece of our economy. And especially when you look at things like oil and agriculture that are so impacted by commodities. They're just out of our control. And we just get those huge swings We really think that now is the time to build up that tourism portfolio more, work harder about telling our story, and really that's what it's about. People don't know much about us, so we have to tell them what there is to see and do here, and encourage them, inspire them to come and visit. And we think that will, definitely, we'll see recovery, because when you look at the stories that we've been telling for a number of years and the position that we have, we are an outdoor recreation, uncrowded destination that has a lot of opportunities for physical distancing. It just comes pretty natural in North Dakota. The number one reason people visit here has been, since I've been in this industry, has been for our outdoor recreation. And so we've already been talking prior to COVID, follow your curiosity, not the crowds. And so we feel like we're going to be in a good position to recover once it's safe and once people feel safe enough to travel again.
Just sharing some pictures again from your photo gallery. The gallery is just stunning. You've got great photographers, probably some people who contribute. The first one was a camping scene, and it made me smile and remember that our neighbors' friends came over and camped at their house this weekend. They just can't wait to get out and go camping. People have been talking about that a lot.
That's awesome. Yep. I think everybody's ready to, I've noticed the same thing. Everybody's got their campers and boats and everything out. They're cleaning them up and getting them ready to go. And of course, the great spring and summer weather, combined with the fact that we've been, kind of limited in our movements and where we can go, everybody's really anxious to get out.
Yeah. What other challenges, I guess, are you looking at? And specifically, I'm thinking about communities that maybe are or were planning centennials or bicentennials or annual festivals that they have every spring or summer.
That's a really good question. We have, the guidance and the protocols are out there, obviously, for restaurants and bars and some of those, some of the smaller recreation and fitness centers. We're working on additional guidance right now to come out on those larger gatherings and those larger gathering spaces. So just in a meeting this morning on it, I have another meeting this afternoon. We're hoping by Wednesday to have some idea. The big thing here is it really has to be tied to the metrics, though. We know that if you're going to put larger groups together, that the risk factors are going to go up. And if we can get a handle on the health metrics, have the tracers in place, have people using the Care19 app and some of those things, that's going to assure that we do have an ND Smart restart and that we're able to bring more of these larger gatherings and events online this summer. They won't be the same, though, and people really need to think about that. The protocols that'll be in place, will likely exist throughout the summer. So, where you're used to going to a street fair or something where it's back to back to back people and the booths are right next to each other. Planners are just going to really have to think differently and think about safety and think about, spacing and physical distancing and all of those things. So we're working hard to get a smart plan in place, and hopefully we'll have at least a glimpse of that available by Wednesday.
Okay. We saw the Badlands there. Pretty easy to do our social distancing when we're out hiking and spending time in the outdoors that way. But getting back to camping, and it's wash your hands and keep your distance and all of that. In a camping situation, is there any kind of guidance or recommendation as far as keeping things sanitized? I mean, even more so than what was probably done prior to COVID?
Yeah, there are. And it's amazing how many entities have really jumped in and created some of these protocols and best practices. So on our website, we've got suggestions for not only visitors, but also those operators to follow. The health department is working on, they have guidance out there, as well as the CDC. Associations do. If you're a member of an RV group or a camping group, there's great recommendations out there. Just recently read some research that just came out this morning in regards to what will help people feel safer. And a lot of it is just, number one, knowing that things are sanitized and being clean, but also having those products available for users. So obviously, if you're in your own camping unit, you can control that environment. But if you're using any shared facilities, making sure that, you know, hand sanitizer and wipes and all those things are available. But yeah, you're right. We're positioned really well for the whole physical distancing. You know, you look at the fact that we've got, you know, the 70,000 square miles that we have, you know, 800,000 people spread out over. That just gives you a lot of room. But in addition to the, you know, the national park, we've got the nation's largest national grasslands at over 1 million acres. We have more wildlife refuges than any other state, with 63. You know, we've got great scenic byways and backways and state parks, and so I do think there are a lot of opportunities for people to get out and, you know, get that physical exercise that you need, but also get some of that wanderlust out of your system right here close to home.
Yeah, for sure. So a lot of changes in strategy, but are there some things that are staying the same?
Well, I think the experience that we provide is always the same. You know, I'm just inspired every day by the people that work in this travel and tourism industry. You know, not only my own staff, who has had to reinvent themselves 1 million times and take on work way beyond, you know, what they normally would do in order to get us through this, but also the providers and how creative they are, and how they're, you know, when they don't have any customers and yet they're still trying to be a part of their community and be actively engaged and figure out how they can create an experience that might be not exactly the same, but still would be available, you know, this summer. So the operators are just really amazing, and have gone to great lengths to really think this through. You know, it's not just all about the economics. It's about the safety and the fact that a lot of their customers and a lot of their people who use their services, you know, are friends. I mean, these resorts, people come back year after year. The businesses that count on visitors, but also count on residents, really are stepping up to the plate. So I'm just hoping that all the North Dakotans and everyone throughout the region will support them once we can.
Absolutely. Thank you for letting me use the pictures from your website, your gallery.
Absolutely. I think we've got close to 20,000 pictures out there. I think there's about 12 that are in the public galleries. So, and those are available for non-commercial use for anybody. We're proud of the state, and pictures don't do us any good if we just keep them in somebody's computer somewhere. So people can access them and use them, because it's all about storytelling. We just need to show more pictures and tell more stories about our state.
I love it. I love storytelling. And is the governor's photo contest, does that kick off at this time as well?
It is. That kicks off this week as well. So later this week, we'll kick that off. We have altered the categories a little bit to try to encourage some of those categories that make more sense for the environment that we're in right now. We also have a film competition, a film pitch competition that we have been running this year for the first time. And while we aren't able to do a live Shark Tank kind of pitch for this, we're going to do it. We're going to do it via Facebook, or I guess we're going to do it versus Teams Live. That'll allow 4 film companies to pitch their ideas for creating some short films on North Dakota. So if you're interested in that, you can find out the details on that at ndtourism.com too. And anybody, I think it's open to the first 250 who want to log on and watch those pitches. So yeah, we've got some pieces that are new. We've got some pieces that we've done for a number of years, like the governor's photo contest. But we're hoping to get back to our regular media plan in terms of attracting those regional folks, because we know that people are going to feel safer getting in a car. And that's where we've marketed primarily anyway. So we feel like we'll be well positioned once we launch that campaign in a bigger way here in the coming weeks.
All right. Wonderful. Sara, I appreciate you so much. And thanks for your time and for telling us a little bit about yourself and giving us an update on the state?
Yeah, absolutely. It was fun. I appreciate you too, because everybody needs inspiration right now. Everybody's kind of looking for another role model or another good example, and the more we hear those stories, it just motivates us all. I mean, there's things that 3 weeks ago I thought, I never would have time to do that, or I could never do that, and you just do it. We just do it, and we motivate each other and inspire each other, and we're gonna get through this.
Well, I saw Josh Duhamel pushing that big round bale. I'm inspired to try that.
Don't do that. I wouldn't recommend that. Those are pretty heavy. Couple thousand pounds, I think.
Okay, maybe not. Oh, all right. Well, stay well, and thanks for all you do for the state.
All right. You too, Marci. Thanks.
Keep up with all the Inspired Woman conversations at inspiredwomanonline.com. Subscribe to the Inspired Woman YouTube channel, or follow us on Facebook at Inspired Woman, and on Instagram and Instagram TV at Inspired Woman by Marci. We'll see you next time for another Inspired Woman conversation.